Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Jonyse, and I am back, and hopefully for good. It shouldn't be hopefully, it'll be for good. Most of y'all know I've been gone for a minute because I was in school, and to be honest, life and your education is more important than your hobbies. So, I mean, all of the people that I speak to on a regular basis or that I'm in contact with, they all know, and they all reach out to me on social media, and I do to them as well. I just had to figure out what was more important. My husband was gone, and he usually is the one that comes to, like, you know, hey, you haven't did a video in a couple of days or whatever. So I hadn't had that there to push me, and then I was at home, like, I'm a single parent pretty much, and some days I was like between school and working and stuff. It was like 12-13 hour days, and my weekend consisted of me getting some goddamn rest, and most of the weekends I was working. So I mean, I'm an artist for Lancome, so when I'm not at school, that's what I was doing on the weekend. So there's the gist of it. So I thought, since I had been gone so long and I have new subscribers, and I want to say what's up to all of my new subscribers. Thanks for subscribing. I love and appreciate all my subscribers, especially the ones who've been ride or die with me since day one. I love y'all. So I thought, kind of like an icebreaker, I would do a tag, and I haven't did a tag in a long ass time. I'm catching myself. Look, if I can't be who I am and like bleep, I'm not doing all that, because that's not me, and I just don't feel like doing that. So a long ass time. So let's get to getting. The name of this tag is called My First. So it'll be like my first of everything. I don't know how many questions there is. I just thought it'd be interesting and a good icebreaker. So if I can find, okay, here it is. Okay, so my first tweet. I don't tweet. I mean, I tweet technically, but I mean, I'm just not on Twitter. What I do is all of my social media is connected. So if I put something on Facebook or through YouTube or whatever, it'll automatically go to Twitter. So it's like I ghost tweet. Anyway, my first video, my first video was in 2011, and it was of a vanity that I had made on my own. I really wanted a vanity, and my husband can sometimes be frugal. Like, he thinks if, you know, when he goes, that money can go with him. So he was just trying to be funky with the money. I could have bought my own, but I was also being funky with the money because at that time I had a very serious addiction to shoes, and shoes at that point was not more important than makeup. So I made my own vanity. I'll put the video down in the description below. I don't want to keep going on and on about, you know, taking up everybody's time, you know what I'm saying? So the next question is, first person you subscribe to on YouTube. Jazzy JUJU B. Yes. She and Peak Mill, and who else did I love? Later on down the line, it was Destiny Godly. And I mean, at that time, I loved Jazzy JUJU B82, and I think the reason why I was drawn to her is because she was a veteran, and she was very creative, and she was from New York City too. So but I absolutely loved her. I can imagine the very first time that I watched Jazzy JUJU B82, she was making clutches out of placemats, and I wish they were incredible, and I thought it was just really creative, really creative. But that was like the first person I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to subscribe to her, and I've been and will always be her subscriber. The next question is first profile pic. I'll on Facebook. I'll put it up here somewhere. I mean, it's just a profile pic, the first one, I guess. I had a Facebook and then I had deleted it and then I made a new one in 2007. So I'll put it up here somewhere. So the next question is, do I still talk to my first love? I still talk to my first love because I'm married to him and I don't have a choice. No tea intended. Love you, Marvin. Okay. Okay. What was your first alcoholic drink or beverage? This is funny. My first beverage was, what was the name of it? Cisco. We called it liquid crack. You know, when you're young and you're just experimenting in things. I mean, this was so long ago that you could go into the bodega, because that's what we call it in New York City, the corner store, the bodega, or the liquor store, and you could be a kid and you can go and get alcohol and cigarettes. Yeah, that was like over 20 years ago. But anyway, yeah, it was Cisco. We called it liquid crack. That was my first alcoholic beverage. What was my first job? My first job was at a cellular store, and this was so long ago because we didn't have a lot of clients, because unless it was like more business and people who had a lot of money, because I'm talking, this was like 20 plus years ago. My first car was a Pontiac Grand Am. And then it says, who was the first person that I texted today? The first person I texted today was Marvin. He texted me early this morning when it's his afternoons. It's usually my mornings. So he sends me a text like I'm awake. And he will continue to text me until I wake up and text him back. Hi, Marvin. Let's see. Who was my first grade teacher? My first grade teacher was Miss Williams. That woman was freaking gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I think she had to be Ethiopian or something. She was very tall. She reminded me of my mom, and I think the reason why she stuck in my head so much until this day is because she like, I wasn't, you know, raised by my parents, you know, when I was young. But she reminded me of my mom. She was very tall like my mom. My mom is 6'2". She was very tall like my mom. She had very long hair, like down to her butt. And she just reminded me of my mom. And I remember, like, I was always an imaginative kid. So I always, you know, imagined that she was my mom. So yeah, that was my first grade teacher, Miss Williams. Okay, next question. Where did you first go on your first airplane ride? My first airplane ride was from Buffalo, New York to home, which was New York City. Who was my first best friend, and do we still talk? My first best friend is Lucretia, and we have been friends for over 30 years, and we talk occasionally because our lives are very busy. The next question is, where was your first sleepover? Probably Lucretia's. Moving right along. Okay, what was my first concert that I went to? These kids are like walking like elephants. The first concert I ever went to was a Mary J. Blige concert, and it was like in 1992. So it was probably like, what's the 411? Like, yeah, like that long ago. It says first broken bone. Well, the first time I broke bones was in Iraq, and I broke my tibial and my radial bone. And my first piercings were my ear piercings as a child. I ain't piercing nothing else. First foreign country you've gone to? I lived in Canada for a spell, but I don't really consider like it foreign. It's freaking North America. It's not foreign. So I would say Korea was my first foreign country. Um, First movie you remember seeing? Probably Crocodile Dundee, like the very, very first one. I don't know. Kids in the hood ain't go to the movies that often. Probably Crocodile Dundee. Um, yeah, I can't remember. Um, what was my first detention? My grandma wasn't having no detention. My mama wasn't having no detention. So I didn't have detention. I was sneaky. I never got caught. Bump that. Who was my first roommate? My first was roommates. And they were, we shared the same barracks room together in Korea. And that was TT and Ty. I love them to this day. What is the next one? If you had one wish, what would it be? That my kids grow to be successful individuals who live life honestly and very Christian. The next question is, what was the first sport you were involved in? Since birth, basketball. Hello to my children. I don't know what happened, but anyway, that was the very first sport. They're standing outside the door talking to their dad. Okay. What's the next question? What is the first thing you do when you got home? What is the first thing that I do when I get home? Is normally go to my room. Yeah, I always go to my room and go to, well, usually first thing I really do is go to the washroom, and then, which is in my bedroom, and I just sit in my room for a couple minutes, maybe about 15 minutes, to just brain dump, because most of the time I'm with my children and they like to get on my nerves, and I just need that time away from them. So, when was my first kiss? This is the last question. My daughter. I don't really remember. I really don't. I'm not a kissing person. I don't like I don't mind, like, you know, peck or whatever. But as far as like kiss, ew, that's just gross. But anyway, that's just me and my weirdness. But anyway, that is it for the tag, and I will talk to you guys later. You guys will be seeing more videos from me, and if you have any requests, leave them down below in the description box. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.